Ah, hello, you wonderful learning individuals. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for pressing the play button. I am Johnny, your host with HomeCountry Mathematics. Allow me to share with you a typical problematic algebraic expression from the internet and or social media. Let's do this. The do's and the don'ts. Oh, not that one. We will use that later. Alright. Click this one. There we go. Here's the problem. This is the way it is typically written. I think it's in I think its intention is to create discourse and such on the internet. Okay? Let me show you how to do this correctly. 1 plus 2. This is the way it's written. Alright? Now I like to say that one side, typically you have two sides, right? And they both think they're correct. And they're adamant too. But being real, only one side can be correct, right? So it's great that people understand the concept of BODMAS, PEMDAS, BODMAS. That's great. They understand the concept. I think majority of us do. We get the idea, right? It's just an acronym. These are the steps. But you're not necessarily always doing these steps in the order, right? There's a certain sequence when you're working with algebraic expressions, and certain things you could do and certain things you just shouldn't. Okay? So typically if you don't have any brackets, which the only brackets or parentheses we have are right here, right? As you can see. Okay? So because of that, they're doing the left to right concept. And this is incorrect. And let me explain why. You see all this here? Now if you're following my series, you'll understand that's why I teach the left-hand side, right-hand side concepts. Also, you can have a neighbor to the north and a neighbor to the south. All right? If you look at this here, you can see these parentheses, correct? These parentheses are actually attached at the hip to the 2. So in essence, the 2 owns the parentheses. The 2 owns everything to the right of it because it's attached at the hip based on the multiplication here, right? This parentheses means multiplication. So that is the point I like to make. These parentheses belong to the 2. Okay? Here's another concept. What does this mean? What does the division symbol mean? If you really think about it. Yes, it's a mathematical step. Okay? We have plus, we have minus, we have times, we have divide. Yes. Naturally, I agree. Yes, there is. That's great. But what does division really, really mean? This is what it means. Numerator divided by the denominator. Okay? So I'm being explicit about this and expressing and sharing with you the reasoning behind why those that go left to right and think they're correct when in fact they're wrong, they're doing the division here first. So in essence, they're stealing the 2 from which actually belongs to the parentheses. So what happens in between? We just steal ownership from this and just go, okay, we have a void in between. Okay, what happens in between? Does this just magically jump and attach itself to the parentheses now? I don't see that in BODMAS, PEMDAS rules at all. My main point here is the parentheses belong to the two. When you're following BODMAS, PEMDAS rules, yes, you do the brackets, whatever's inside. Okay? The other concept I wanted to point out is the fact that this is division. So, anybody that's been following my series, they understand my left-hand, right-hand side concepts. I also have a north-south or north neighbor, south neighbor. North neighbor, south neighbor is this. So, therefore, I always recommend that you turn this is, and let me finish here first. I'm going to finish this first. Okay? The parentheses belong to the two. That's ownership. That's why I am able to move it all together as a denominator. You can't just take, so looking at this, you can't just take the 2 and go, okay, I'm moving the 2 over here, and then leave the 1 plus 2 floating here randomly, aimlessly in limbo. Like, that belongs together. You understand? Right? I can't just move the 2. I have to move everything together. They belong together. It's an ownership thing. Again, this is a division symbol. Division means fractions. Okay, so now that you set up the problem correctly, you can now visually see that we don't go 6 divided by 2 first when you actually write it in fraction form. That makes sense? So working it out, you can clearly see it's going to end up being 2 multiplied by 3. We get 6 divided by 6. And those that got the answer 1, there you go. Just proved it and showed it to you here on the old interwebs. Johnny with HomeCountry Mathematics. Also, okay, so I'm going to, with that said, here's another example. Okay, I'm going to leave this here. Actually, I'm just going to clean it up. Okay, we don't really need it. We know the answer is 1, right? It's not 3, it's not 9. 9 is incorrect. Okay. Here's another one. Watch this. 9 squared. Okay. And then we have a division symbol here. That's what I wanted to explain. I am not a fan of math problems being written in a linear fashion. It's fine if it's everything else, but when you have a division symbol being written in a linear fashion, it's big cringe for me. Okay. 9 squared, and then we have over here 2 plus 1. Okay. Now you're wondering what belongs here. Well, there's an imaginary 1 here. Okay, that we can have. So following BODMAS, PEMDAS rules, yes, you would do the exponent. 9 squared is 81, or 9 times 9. Right? That's correct. You would do that. Okay? But seeing it like this, right? Now with those individuals that went like this, left to right, and did the division here first, what are they going to do here? Right? What are they going to do here? They probably don't even know that there's an imaginary 1 there. Imagine, if I was to guess, they probably don't. Right? What would they do here? Right? They would be confused. They wouldn't know what to do. So, therefore, you would write the problem like this. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. You can solve it. Good luck. There's my analogy. Those that go left to right like this, you got to realize the 2 owns this. This is fractions. You don't, I always say, this is what I say. This is mathematics, okay? Guys and gals, this is mathematics. This isn't English class. We're not reading sentences left to right. Mathematics, you see a division, turn it into fraction form. It's great to have you. Thank you for watching. You're all winning, and I'll see you in the next video.